This is not just a story. This is a war. A war fought not on a battlefield, but inside one man's mind. The story of a boy who was broken, abused, and hopeless, but who chose to rise and became one of the toughest men alive. This is the story of David Goggins. Born in Buffalo, New York, young David lived in fear. His father was abusive, violent. Home was not a safe place. It was a prison. At school, racism and bullying followed him everywhere. He struggled with learning disabilities. Every day, he hid his pain behind fake smiles. By the time he was a teenager, David was already broken. He was overweight. He was scared. He believed he was nothing. At night, lying in bed, he whispered to himself, "This can't be my life forever." In 2010, David thought he had finally conquered his demons, but life wasn't done testing him. Doctors discovered a rare congenital heart defect, a hole in his heart that had been there since birth. It was a condition that could have killed him at any moment. Surgery was the only option. Most people would have taken it as a sign to slow down, to live a quiet life. But not David Goggins. As soon as he recovered, he laced up his shoes again, determined to keep pushing the limits of human endurance. He refused to let even heart surgery define him. David entered Navy SEAL training. Where most men quit after one hell week, he faced 3 in a single year. In 2001, David Goggins stepped into his very first Hell Week. For those who don't know, Hell Week is considered the most brutal training in the world. 6 days of no sleep, freezing water, endless running, and carrying boats and logs on their heads until bodies collapse. Out of hundreds of men, only a few survive. Goggins was ready, but his body wasn't. By the 3rd day, pneumonia set in. His lungs burned, his body shook uncontrollably, and every breath felt like drowning. The doctors pulled him out, telling him it was over. For most men, that would have been the end. But not for Goggins. He promised himself, "I'll be back." Months later, he returned for his second Hell Week. The ocean was colder, the instructors harsher, the pain even greater. By the 4th day, disaster struck again. His kneecap cracked under the endless miles of running and punishment. Every step was torture, like walking on broken glass. His instructors told him to quit. His own body begged him to stop. But Goggins pushed until he physically collapsed. Once again, he was pulled out, defeated but not broken. He whispered to himself, "You can knock me down, but I will rise again." The 3rd time, Goggins entered Hell Week with a body full of scars and injuries, but a mind sharper than steel. He knew the pain, he knew the cold, and this time he welcomed it. For 6 days straight, he carried boats on his head until blood poured down his face. He crawled through freezing mud, his skin raw and torn. He stayed awake for 130 hours with no sleep, hallucinating, but refusing to stop. His teammates watched in awe. Every time they were about to give up, Goggins shouted, "Stay hard!" By the end, when others dropped out, David Goggins stood tall. He became one of the very few men in history to complete Hell Week, 3 times in a single year. His message was clear. The body may fail, but the mind can carry you through anything.
He wasn't the strongest, He wasn't the fastest, but he was unbreakable. David became not just a Navy SEAL, but also an Army Ranger and an Air Force tactical controller. From a man who couldn't run a mile, he became an ultramarathon runner, conquering races over 100 miles. He set a world record, over 4,030 pull-ups in just 17 hours. He had transformed from a broken boy into one of the toughest men alive. On stage, in front of thousands, David shared his truth. David, I was nobody. I was fat, broken, abused. But I made a choice. I chose to suffer. I chose to fight. And I learned, there's no finish line. There's only the next level.
David signed up for ultramarathons that would break even the strongest athletes. He ran with stress fractures, with broken bones, with feet so blistered they had to be taped together. Every step sent shockwaves of pain through his body, but he kept moving. Mile after mile, through deserts, mountains, and endless nights, he pushed forward. People asked him, "Why do you do this to yourself?" His answer was simple: because suffering is the true test of the human spirit. Even today, David Goggins lives with constant pain. Old injuries, surgeries, and countless battles have left his body scarred and aching. But instead of complaining, he uses that pain as fuel. Every morning, when he wakes up sore, he tells himself, "This pain means I'm still alive. This pain means I'm still in the fight." For Goggins, pain isn't a curse. It's a gift. A reminder that the struggle never ends, and neither does his willpower. David Goggins is living proof that the human body can be broken, yet the human spirit can remain unshakable. From a hole in his heart, to shattered bones, to blood in his urine and pain in his spine. Every injury tried to stop him, but instead of surrendering, he turned pain into his greatest weapon. He showed the world that strength isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to quit when everything inside you screams to give up. So the next time life knocks you down, remember this: your scars are not your weakness. They are the armor that shapes your destiny. This is not just Goggins' story. This is a reminder for all of us. Push past the pain. Break the limits. Live with unshakable willpower. Because in the end, pain fades, but true strength lasts forever. You're watching Triggered Strength, where pain becomes power and weakness transforms into unstoppable force.